What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 198 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by one of the coolest dudes in video games, Greg Miller.
Hello, Tim.
Hello,
Thank
Greg.
you very much, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin.
And the Reverend Jared Petty.
Whoa.
Damn, Kevin.
Wow.
Damn, he's in the room now. You're not allowed to talk shit anymore.
It's all right. It's fair.
I just wanted to do. I'm sorry, Jared. I didn't actually mean that. I just need to do something different.
I understand. It's fair.
That's really loud.
I kind of deserve that right now.
Okay.
Don't lean in, Kev.
Cool,
Don't
Greg,
lean
giving
in.
the good feedback on the
Cheryl
shock
Sandberg,
mic. We
that's
like
right.
that, Cool, Greg. What's that, Cool, Greg? I don't know when Iggy Azalea's new album's dropping out, but I'll let you know when I find out about it.
This is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every week right here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. We get together, talk about video games, all the things that we love about them. You can get the show early by going to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. You can even watch live along with us. And if you watch live, you get to watch the pre-show live. And if you don't want to watch live, or if you can't watch live, you can watch it whenever you want. If you support us at the $10 or above level by getting the pre-show as part of the VOD early, a couple days early, that is, on a Friday, because this show comes out on Monday for free for everyone on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Was this a good pre-show, guys?
Yeah, I had a lot of
It
fun.
was, yeah.
Okay.
And I'll level with you, though. $10 for just a pre-show? Seems like only getting half my money's worth. Is there more?
There's a lot more. Greg.
What's that?
For $10, oh my God, you get so much more.
There's a
you
post
also
show.
get a post show.
Yay!
That's true.
Every boy
That's
and every
true.
girl, spice up your life. People all the world, spice up your
There was a
life.
couple of Spice World references in the pre-show.
Are you going to see them now that they're reuniting? Have we talked about this?
He's not.
What a fucking...
He hasn't even gone to see
What a
Britney.
fake fan.
We're planning to see Britney.
I know, so I threw that out there.
It's not a fake fan thing. It's just
Fake
like,
fan?
it's not all of them.
Who isn't there?
Isn't Posh not there?
Oh, she passed away?
But she was
Yeah.
never in it, you know?
Victoria Beckham?
She got married. She moved on.
She
It's not the Spice Girls. At this
She's
point,
not
it's just,
dead.
it's,
Okay,
it's,
thank
It's
Some
90% of
spice.
the
Spice
Spice
ladies.
Girls.
You know what I mean?
All spice.
it's not all Spice. It's just, it's Old Spice.
Spicy.
For sure.
Oh.
Let's get right into it, ladies
is
and
all
gentlemen.
terrible.
I'm so sorry.
Stop talking.
Let's talk about video games. I want to start with Red Dead Online because we have Mr. Red Dead himself.
Oh, is that
Jared
what I am?
Petty.
Oh,
Jared Dead.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Wow, that was good, too.
Thank
He's
you.
on it.
Yeah.
He's
Well
on
done.
it. He's-
You didn't like it for a second, and then you realized
And then I
how
did.
much
No, I
you
was like,
did.
no, Jared. No, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
Yeah.
okay with being Jared.
Red Dead Online.
Yeah.
Give me the deets.
Okay, so it's a beta, and it's a beta. You played some, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been
So
in
did
there.
Kevin.
Kevin's
That's why we
played
got
a
him on the
lot.
shot
Kevin
mic.
I
Yeah.
played a little bit more than you have.
I think in terms of expertise, I'm assuming it's you that you've been playing a lot.
I played a fair bit.
Then it's Kevin, then it's me.
Okay, so I like it as a beta, as a proof of concept. I'm fine with it. I like the character creator. I love that they invested in kind of a unique story mode as you're going in. So you're like, hey, okay,
Yeah.
I'm kind of playing single player, multiplayer, and I can play with my friends. But anytime I don't have friends, I have very good, effective matchmaking that just drops people about the same level right in. We go, we do our tasks together, we help each other out, we split up, we're done.
Quick question. Have you tried playing the story mode with a posse?
Not with my own posse yet.
I
no.
haven't either.
No, I haven't tried that. I think
I
that'd be
should have.
fun.
I should have tried that yesterday.
Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of
I
fun.
think that would be a lot of fun, but I also am positive that it's not going to work.
No, you think so?
God,
No, the match-
Rockstar's Online. Why is it so bad?
Okay, so right
Yeah.
now, are you having trouble with connection? Are you having trouble with matchmaking? What do you have trouble
I'm
with?
having trouble with matchmaking when we go into I create a posse, and then we do a quick match, and then we do the small one or the large one. The large one I was never able to make it connect; it would keep crashing. But we did the small games, and then instead of keeping us in like our groups, some of us were in different groups. Like 2 people in one group, one dude was just on the other side, and it's just.
Kind of how it was when we do GTA Online.
Yeah, and that's the thing. GTA Online still has these issues where it's like we never got it to work successfully.
Right, when we were trying to play it last
so,
year.
like when I was playing yesterday with Steve, one of our good buddies, who's a best friend and just amazing at getting those platinums.
Yeah.
His cousin was playing with me, and he was like, "Oh, they'll work these kinks out," and I was like, "No, Rockstar just refuses to." That being said, the modes that I played were a lot of fun. I had a great time. We did a bunch of different we did the I can't remember any of the names, but we did the one where it's 16 people and you're running around with knives. Just
the Battle Royale one?
yeah,
Just the knives? Okay.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. Surprisingly, it's also a lot of fun to watch once you've died, because then it's like you're choosing the cameras and you're watching people creep up on other people. We did another mode that was something about the points where the more kills you get, the more points you're worth.
Yeah, that one's
when
fun.
you get killed. So much fun.
It's like King of the Hill, but mobile.
Yeah.
Like you're all trying to kill you get the points of the person you kill.
Right.
So they're just stacking into that person, and it's exponentially growing, and you've got a chance to come back at the very end of the game and win still. It's really cool.
So much fun.
How's that work though? Because then isn't it just at any moment, it doesn't matter who's winning until the very end?
It does matter because you
you're
might
still
kill 2 other people
point.
that have other stack amounts. And there's a bunch of really weird math going on.
Okay, cool.
There's another mode I really like where different weapons are worth different points per kill.
Yes,
so that
mode
was fun.
so much fun.
Yeah, that's
so
really cool.
that mode is you're running around, and if you've got like just a stabbing knife, it's 7 points. If you've got a shotgun, it's worth like 5 points. So depending on what your weapon is, it changes how many points you get per kill.
Yeah.
And it's just you're like. You die and you're just coming back and trying to stack as many points as possible.
Right, but you're like,
So
it's
much
constant
fun.
risk reward.
Yeah.
Like, do I go for the easy kill, or do I take the risk here and switch off to a harder weapon to try? But then you screw up and you're like, I should have used that, and that's all happening in like 30-second bursts. It's a lot of fun. I
But
like that
again,
mode.
that was based off of teams, right? It was 3 people teams.
That was it was teams of 3 or 4 people. Yeah,
Yeah, and I could not get my group to be in a single team.
There's a deathmatch version of that too. Though that was now so matchmaking I was mostly playing earlier when the servers less credit. I was talking with somebody, so I didn't have the matchmaking issues, but I've talked with somebody else yesterday that was that's been playing. They've been having connection issues in general.
We've had some
was
connection issues, but eventually they did go away. So initially when we started trying to do the matchmaking, I think it was just the larger group setting just wouldn't work. So
Yeah, for me, it's very reminiscent tech-wise of GTA Online when they launched that, and it was the same thing where I was excited to try it, jumped in, and then ran into a bunch of problems, and that's what happened.
Couldn't get in at all.
Well, no, what's happening is, so I was here, me and Nick made the character, had a great time, love this character creator, started playing through that
I was just like,
Yeah, they all
not
look-
paying attention and like just looking
They're
over
all
you guys
hideous.
doing it. Those motherfuckers look like from Little Nicky, like the people getting hit in the face with the shovel.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Abby
you
over
gotta
at Giant Bomb is the only person I've seen put one up. I'm like, oh, that looks like a good person.
You can do that. It just takes a lot of tweaking.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we weren't screwing
Way
around.
too much.
We worked on it to make it look enough like me, which is generic white guy with beard, so whatever. Went in there, really liked the way they set it up, right? Like I love this, like we're talking about the single player, multiplayer story of like, all right, cool, yeah, I get this. This is what I wanted more out of Red Dead story in general, right? From the get-go is, cool, you were in there for a crime you didn't commit.
Yep.
You've got a bone to pick with these people. I have a bone to pick. We're going to do this. And you're like, great. This is such a great place to start me at. All right.
Yeah, it's a tale of vengeance. You can choose to play it dark. You can choose to play it good. It's very much an open-ended thing.
When you're going out on to choose your quests, like you see if they're good or bad quests, and if they're gonna like what they do to your honor and stuff.
And they affect how that all rolls out. I like that section, and I think the story's actually pretty darn interesting so far.
Oh no, totally.
For the purpose of conveyance, I think the world works well. It's obvious. It was really cool to me seeing how places I'd been in their single player game were actually designed as multiplayer arenas, and I never realized it.
Yeah.
Like I'm walking around in Saint Denis in New Orleans, and there'd be streets I recognized from there. I'm like, oh my gosh, this looked like a regular city street, but this was totally crafted to be a multiplayer arena for this mode. And didn't know it.
Interesting.
Yeah,
like, a lot of that went on.
for the knife throwing game, we were playing in Strawberry.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because it was very much like you could go into the houses and like hide out there. It is interesting that like Jared's totally right. It feels like those parts of the levels were crafted for this, and it's
That's
really
super
cool.
smart.
Really
I mean, obviously,
cool, yeah.
Rockstar knows what the fuck they're doing. Like with all these years of GTA Online. It's
No,
like,
but their servers, like the system still is broken.
there's still a lot of problems.
Well,
flaws with
and to
but-
my thing, that was my thing, right? I got in, I got the story, I liked where I was going. Went off on the first real mission where you team up for the first time, where it's that horse rock, go steal these horses. It's like great. Randomly get paired up with people. Awesome. We all ride over there. We get it. I'm almost back to base, and somebody's horse got shot. And so I was like, fail. I'm like, all right, cool. Went back, started it again. We get to getting the horse going. You've lost connection to the Rockstar servers.
Oh, that's
fuck. All right, it's dinner. Came back, did it. All right, advanced. Got to the next thing. Crashed.
No,
okay.
if that's what had happened to me, I'd have been
Come
really
back
frustrated.
in. I'm like, now I'm going. All right, cool. It was the next, and it crashed again. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go work on the Assassin's Platinum. Like and it's not like I'm not done forever. I'm very excited to get back in with everybody. Scott Lowe sent me an invite last night that popped up. He's like, you want us to play Red Dead? And I was like, I'm
cowboy?
one trophy away right now from this Assassins. I cannot stop, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think maybe you going to check back in around when the holiday surprise or whatever drops. You know,
Yeah, well, I think even just letting it go a little bit longer and let servers stabilize, right, and figure all that out. And what is the word? We did it yesterday on Games Daily. Somebody wrote in at the end for a "you're wrong." Did they announce that for sure your progress isn't carrying over when they exit beta, or are they still?
What I have seen is that that's still up in the air, but I could be remembering that wrong. I don't want to misquote.
The thing yesterday with that, I think Mr. Yasman or somebody sent in was just like, Rockstar, still not sure kind of thing.
I do not remember, but last I saw it seemed to be up in the air.
The people I was playing with yesterday seemed to think that like they had announced that it was going to carry over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what you're Googling there?
I'm looking for it.
Yeah, I want to be careful because I got something, the last episode of Red Dead Radio, I got a fact wrong. I was like,
no. What was it?
I had some stuff wrong about how the online economy works, so I actually put the episode back up because I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you don't want to get things that wrong. You know?
I guess so.
Totally.
Rockstar's post says, "We hope that all player progress during this early period of the beta will be able to remain intact long term. However, as with many betas for large-scale online experience such as this, there's always the chance that we may need to implement rank or other stat resets in case of issues."
Yeah, because sometimes you dump too much. You figure out that your money or your gold didn't work out like you thought it would.
Yeah,
you figure out your ranks don't work out like you thought they would. Things like that. And that's, I do like the Disneyland approach to the design. I really like, which is the GTA 5 approach. The same thing where you've got kind of this giant theme park.
Yeah.
And you're walking through, and there's all kinds of things to see. There's characters and costumes. You know, you've got all the attractions you can walk in and out of. They're just right there. And then there's the rides. And the rides are all the events. And so you have the free mode, which is this huge, interesting place. It's just fun to see. You run into people. You make your own fun. You get involved.
That's a great analogy.
And then whenever you want, you can get on a ride. And that's how they designed GTA 5, and that's how they designed this one. And I really like that Disneyland design. I think
Did you get into GTA 5 online or GTA?
Yeah, I did. I did a lot of coverage for it for IGN. I'm not nearly as into it as John Ryan is, who loves it more than anyone I've ever known loving anything. But I really did enjoy GTA Online. I liked how zany it got. I liked how they kept building on it.
Yeah.
I liked when it turned into Hot Wheels in the sky.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
Can you guys help me out with that real quick? That expansion was called Cunning Stunts. Right?
Yeah.
And everyone was all like, it's such a funny name. I don't get it.
Reverse the first two letters of those two words.
Stunning Cunts?
There we go.
That's it?
Yep, that's it.
Really?
Okay, cool. Back to the programming.
Again, I didn't say it was great. That's what people were
Was
talking
that
about.
really what people were excited about?
Well, they're excited about the
No,
content.
they're excited about the fact that it was Hot Wheels cars in the sky.
Yeah, that was exciting.
That was exciting. Yeah.
But like, was that the joke
That's the
behind
best
that?
thing in that game.
Man.
Actually,
I'm really let down right now.
the best thing in that game is the mission creator. I love that. I can't wait for that for Red Dead when that comes along. The fact that you could go online, I talked about the rides and create your own theme park attractions.
I had no idea about this.
Oh, in GTA 5?
I
you can
don't-
make your own missions in GTA Online.
We dabbled in it, but couldn't get too deep.
We had so many problems.
And
with
it's not like
GTA.
generic. It's like
we're dumb.
if I can imagine
No, it's
it,
not 'cause
I
we're
can
dumb.
find a way to make this work. It's freaking ridiculous.
It's because Rockstar's done. Peanut was helping us, and Peanut knew everything.
Peanut knows.
Peanut does know everything. It's true. He was very helpful.
So yeah, I like it, but there's a lot of beta stuff going on, and the fact is, if you can't connect to a video game, it ain't fun. I'm really fortunate I haven't had those issues yet, but more and more people are popping in now.
So are you being drawn back to it? I mean, obviously for content wise, I'm sure a little bit, but like, are you?
So for me, there's two dimensions to this. One is the, hey, this is my job thing. So yes, I'm definitely doing it on that end. But the other is, this is a online cowboy game. So yeah, it wouldn't matter who made it or what pedigree it had. If somebody had made a online cowboy game with a huge open deep world and this selection of weapons and costumes, just the stuff you could, it's about shopping through that catalog and putting on another awesome thing. It's very much that element. Yeah, I'm so into that.
Impressive
I'll play
too.
this
I
game
feel,
for a year.
a tip of the hat to them in terms of the way they've streamlined things from the single player campaign. And I don't know how much of it was reaction or anything like that, but like even still, like we were talking about it, right? Like one of the first pop ups you get is like, to get to the map fast, hold options, right?
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
something
They
I know we
learned.
had so much problem. I like the addition that now, here, as soon as you meet the guy at the post office, here's the catalog. Just order whatever you want.
You
from
have
it,
it
know?
on you.
Yeah.
Flip it over, you got it, bam, you got what you want.
One of the frustrating things is I constantly open the catalog when I'm trying to go into the player menu select.
Yeah.
Just because it's the same button. It's hold left to open the catalog on the D-pad
Yeah.
versus tap left. So that's just a little issue.
Another thing, new to me, not to necessarily you guys, but I mean, I talked about it before. Like, huge shout out to using the iPad and the Rockstar app. Like, when I was playing, I was using that as my map, and I was like, this is awesome.
So that works with the online as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait to form a posse, get out there and play with some friends.
Yep,
but
me too.
there is the stabilization. They were very upfront with the fact that it's a beta, and we have to be both fair. We have to be fair in, yes, we understand because it's a beta, it's not done, but we also have to be fair and we understand because it's a beta, it's when it doesn't work, it's not going to be fun. And those things are both true.
But Kev, so do you really think you're going to invest a lot more time into... Step back. Red Dead 2, have you beat it yet?
No, I haven't beaten it. I do want to beat it. The story, I'm enjoying it very much. I just have been playing other things, specifically Tetris. We'll talk about that later.
How far along are you, Kevin?
I'm only about, I think, a third story-wise.
Yeah. So
Where
wow, there's
I
so much
just got
happen.
to New Orleans.
Are you spoiled?
Yeah. Yeah, you spoiled it.
Sorry.
Like last. No. I had the option to walk away,
Okay.
but actually, you spoiling it made me more interested in the story.
Yeah.
Like I kind of want to experience what you told me.
So with the story, knowing where it goes and all that, and then with what you've seen of online and its story and where it's going, which are you more interested to get back into?
Definitely the online. And it's not necessarily because of the story on the online, which does look really cool. It's more of the quick matches and playing those fun modes because I had a blast last night. Yeah,
awesome.
so I also want to build a posse.
There's this little trailer they
Jared, he wants you to invite him to your posse.
Okay, we'll have to make this
Do it,
work.
Jared. Do you use headphones?
Huh?
Do you use
Headphones? What are
like?
those?
Are you talking? Do you have a mic
No,
on?
no,
when
I
you're
don't
playing?
talk to.
Yeah, see, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
Well, I could turn it on for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're special. I mean, I own a headset. It has been plugged in a couple of times. There's a thing at the end of the first hour tutorial, Greg, you may remember this, where they show kind of all the modes.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things they do is like team up with your posse, and it just shows like you and 3 other people in the street, like in the Western Gunfighter thing, and then like sweeping across the field on horseback, Silverado style. And I got like a little shiver. I'm like, when I'm doing that, I'm so in. When it's like the 4 of us riding across the field, like that's going to be rad. So now I just got to get that together.
You've been playing more after night 1. You were talking about getting shot all the time. Is that still happening? Are people griefing?
I didn't mess around too much in
open
like
world
I wasn't doing the story mode on the online.
Gotcha.
So I was just jumping into matches. I didn't have anyone come and shoot me up. But yeah, the first night, every single goddamn person that passed me would just pull out their gun and shoot me. And it was one of those things that like 2 minutes in, I was super paranoid and I killed a bunch of random NPCs that were just walking towards me, not trying to kill me.
Yeah. No, it's the same issue you had when GTA 5 first launched. They're going to have to institute passive mode.
Yeah.
I imagine they're testing what happens like when you have passive mode off right now. But I can't imagine they designed this without a switch they can flip on the end right away to turn that on. Because that became one of the earliest things they had to introduce to GTA 5 to balance it.
Real quick, that being said, when someone kills you, they'll show up on the map as a red blip.
Yeah.
And then you can go and kill them.
Yeah.
And then if they kill you back, it starts this like weird back and forth thing.
Rivalry
Blood
thing?
feud.
Yeah, rivalry. But there was
Blood feud.
Yeah.
I don't think they call it that, but it's a rivalry.
But
Yeah.
they
And you
called
can
it
interfere-
something.
If you're listening.
Well, no, if you become a rival, you can interfere with other people's missions eventually. Like there's stuff built in where like your rival's trying to do something
pretty
and it
cool.
alerts you. And it's like you could screw their mission up.
That actually
And get the
happened
reward.
for me, where they were doing some delivery or something, and it notified me like, "Hey, your rival's doing a delivery," and I went, "I fucked him
fuck
up.
this guy.
I got him good."
And you get the
Listen
reward
here,
if you screw it up.
motherfucker.
That's
so like
dope.
that I
I
like.
didn't screw it up all the way, and they ended up making it, which made me really bummed. But
Yeah.
then when they came out of like dropping it off, oh man, I killed him real good.
That's awesome. Greg, do you think you're going to invest a lot more time in that?
I mean, I still need to get my feet under me on it, right? And I want to play more of it, and I want to jump in with everybody. Yeah. So I want to. I don't know how much I'll end up
You
going.
should posse up tonight.
Okay.
What's the word on a
Oh, wait, no, I gotta write the
actual
script
out of
for the show
beta release date and all that stuff?
There no
They're just
official
like,
word.
we're going
I
for
think
it.
they're going when it works. I think they learned their lesson last time around with that.
Yeah.
They're they're going to declare this a stable product when it's stable and not before.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually impressed that they got the online even out this early. How close to release it is.
I think they wanted to get it out before Christmas, probably for two reasons. Again, one, traditionally they do a Christmas drop online, and two, I think that they wanted to do it while people were still had the discs in the drives and the download queued up. You know, you got it in that top menu and get it into that. That's going to bring a lot more people in.
It's still so crazy that it's been a month.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's been a month since Red Dead 2 came out. It feels like it just happened, but it's not. There's been a lot of time and a lot of games and a lot of different things that have happened.
I don't really note the passage of time anymore.
Right.
I'm not sure how it works. You have to sleep to know when time happens.
Sure.
What are you gonna say, Kev?
Oh, I was just gonna ask. Do you guys know how the tier system is working for people joining the beta?
What, like how it's rolling out?
Yeah.
Started with Ultimate Edition, and then it went to people that played on launch day, and then tomorrow it rolls out to everybody.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the server's definitely gonna break tomorrow. Oh.
Next up, I want to talk about Tetris Effect. Excellent. The reason we have you here,
Buddy.
you've been playing a lot in PSVR.
No, I haven't been playing in the VR.
Why?
Just because I have to set it up, and that's a little bit more of a hassle than I wanted to.
So, I mean, here's a question to you. I mean, I already have my answer, but have you played in VR already?
I have played in VR, and
so
it is,
the VR
yeah.
is not good enough to be worth setting it up to do.
No, see, that's not the answer at all. It is, and it's one of those things. I'm gonna set that boy up, and I'm gonna be there till 4 a.m. I know it. So that's one of the things that's slowing me down on not setting it up.
Are you playing upstairs because your VR unit's downstairs?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, you want to be around Paula, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I read.
And Tetris is one of those games that you can play and not, you're watching a movie on the side and it's totally fun. God, I love Tetris. And this game is so good. Playing with
headphones
headphones
the marathon and all that jazz?
Huh?
Have you beaten the what? I'm not even campaign.
No, so yeah, I think it's called Story, right?
Yeah.
So I'm doing the story right now. I was doing just the normal mode and making sure I was A-starring everything.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh shit, there's an expert mode. And I switched over to that 2 days ago. And I'm trying to A-star everything there, and I can't get past the first little block.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Which is
it's hard, man.
insane, yeah. But I feel like I'm pretty good at Tetris. And to not get over this A-star, I am having an issue that whenever I'm trying to go left and right, sometimes I click down. So I'm trying to figure out...
Because those fat fingers?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Those fat fingers.
Sausage-like appendages.
All right, slow down, Jared, all right?
Yeah.
I have never understood being good at Tetris. I play Tetris. I am fine. I'm definitely not good at it. And it's but when people are I'm the fucking best ever, I'm just
I'm not saying I'm the best.
I didn't
I
realize
wanna make that
people
clear.
were like that until I met you.
Yeah.
And I'm oh shit, you're a savant when it comes to this shit. And I don't understand it.
Which is when you're playing with the where it's instead of dropping, it's immediately hitting the bottom, and the way the play style you have to do is switch it over to the the compartment you have, the hold.
Yeah, you hold.
That, I feel like that's a higher level of playing.
What's the strategy though with the squiggles?
T-spins? What do you mean the squiggles?
The ones that are look like forks.
Oh, the Z's?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What's the strategy?
Where do you put them? Say that's your first one coming down.
Oh, I usually stack it so the flat part, you know how there's a hole?
This is
I stack them to the appropriate
vertical.
size.
okay.
Yeah, I don't put... I don't
Go.
Yeah, I don't
do
have
too.
it as a Z or an
Yeah,
S. I have it up on its
vertical.
side.
Are you constantly building for a Tetris?
Yes. That's how you're supposed to play
Yep.
Tetris,
Yeah,
right?
that's how you get the points. 'Cause
Yeah,
if you're playing for
exactly.
points in modern Tetris. I'm not any good at Tetris either. I'm with you, Tim. I'm always just playing for lines. For me, it's more of a chill thing, which is another reason I enjoy this game because, yes, you can be super competitive and go for but it's also a great kind of Zen experience if you don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
It's just as much fun.
Yeah.
And I like that as well. But you were talking about being good at it. I mean, you hang around the Japanese arcades where there's some of the old Tetris arcade machines still and watch... You ever watch any of the YouTube videos?
Oh, yeah.
Of people playing Invisible Tetris?
Yeah.
It's just...
Invisible Tetris?
Yeah, there's one of the arcade games. If you get far enough toward the credit sequence, the blocks turn invisible, and you've still got people racking up lines with invisible Tetris blocks. It's unreal.
That's insane.
Yeah, watch this.
You know what's bullshit? That there's no Tetris level in Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
well, I
okay.
guess you have to license it from the Tetris company.
But the Tetris theme song is in Smash Brothers.
Okay.
It was in the Luigi's Mansion.
Man, just
stage
jumping from Tetris
in
block
Brawl.
to Tetris block.
But imagine the level.
That
and
would
then,
be
the
really
blocks are
cool.
falling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know
It's
anyway because
really
all you would do is play on the flat levels.
That's fine.
with your items off.
Hey, with the good music though. That's what it's all about.
Great music.
Well, you got the music already.
I want you to train me in Tetris at some point. Just give me the basics course.
Here's the thing about Tetris Effect, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's just humbled me. Like Tetris Effect has humbled me because it was for the longest time that like me and Colin had the Tetris rivalry and we would play and we have a whole bunch of Let's Plays up on Kind of Funny about it. And even when we were at IGN, I would play people in Tetris and stuff. And I was like, man, no, I'm really good at Tetris, right? But then seeing like Justin from the PlayStation blog play and see what some people are putting up from Tetris Effect. And then like when I played on night one, I was like, I'm going to be able just to crush through this. And I forget to what part, and it was like stopped. And I was like, oh. And then did it again and got stopped earlier. And I was like, oh, and then it's that thing of I haven't had a Tetris I've been all about in so long that I totally forgot that like Luminous is my game. Like Luminous is, you've seen me play Luminous.
Yes.
Luminous I stand by. Like, yeah, and now of course now some everyone's better. Yes, I know you're really good at Luminous as well. I'm not saying I'm the world's best Luminous player, but like Luminous is a one where I would
You're
be
a
like,
1%.
There's a part of your brain that's just given over specifically to Luminous.
exactly. And
you're
so
incredible.
even playing Tetris, it is like awesome, and I love it, and I need to get back to Tetris Effect. I mean, I've been playing PlayStation VR every day with Beat Saber, so it's right there, but I'm just so in love with Beat Saber that I'm not doubling back to it. And then Assassins and this, and there's all these other games that are there. Tetris is, like Puyo Puyo Tetris on the Switch, right, is always there. That is such a plain game when I'm like, I'm done doing this, but I don't want something too heavy. I do want to have something on the screen. I'll put that on and play that. But even there, it's just that thing of like, oof, man, like I need to learn some pro strats and get a little bit better and further, because eventually it starts speeding up and you're like, ugh.
I think that there's something different about when I'm playing the Puyo Puyo Tetris just on the Tetris mode.
Yeah.
I like for whatever reason there's a 150 line like cap. So when you get to 150 lines, it resets. And I've gotten to the point where I can do that in like 13 minutes or something, and it's going incredibly fast. But whenever I'm playing Tetris Effect, I can't get that same groove.
Yeah.
It might be because
how good are you? I'm sorry, you can finish your.
I think one of the issues is, for whatever reason, the button mashing and accidentally hitting down, because that fucks me all the time. Sure. But another thing is, in every level, the gear, like the Tetrinos, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Are
Tetrinos,
different. Like they're made of different pieces.
Yeah.
And a couple of them really suck.
Okay.
Where it's like I don't, something about being able to distinguish the shapes clearly.
No, totally. In Luminous, that happens to me too. There's a couple of different skins that pop up, and I'm like, oof, I start failing because it's not. They're a little bit different.
You got to recalculate.
Are you using zone efficiently in Tetris Effect? Because that was the other thing of like when I was playing, it was like,
dude, I felt like I was on regular where I was getting 10 and 12.
Yeah.
A fair amount.
Yeah.
But now that I've gone over to the expert, I'm not.
So zone and Tetris Effect, one of the things they introduced is zone, which is a little meter over on your left that's filling in.
It's really
and
cool.
Basically what happens is when you do it, the Tetrises you get, or the lines you get, hopefully Tetrises, they don't go away. They just move to the bottom and bring more stuff up. So the idea is that you do it, and then rather than have to worry about setting up the Tetris, you're building up more and more lines that you're just making one line.
It allows you to surpass the 4-block limit of the Tetris.
And then you're supposed to knock it out. But like it was, I don't know what it was. At E3, when I played it, it made sense, and I did really well and completed the demo, and they were all like, oh man, again, Justin from PlayStation blog, he kicked the crap out of your score. Yeah. But you're one of the few other people who have finished it. I'm like, yeah, I'm still great at Tetris. And then at home, I've done it, like, I only played like maybe opening night and a little bit the second. It was just like, ooh, I just cannot figure it out.
So how hard is it for you guys to pull out like something? I'm terrible again, like a Perfectress, which I've never managed. Have you done?
What's a
one
Perfectress?
Yet? The Perfectress is in Tetris Effect when you use zone to build to the top of the screen in a single zone and clear the board with like 19 lines. It flashes Perfectress and blows it up. Yeah,
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah,
no.
there's videos of it online.
I've gotten like 2/3 of the screen
Justin's
cleared out.
Put it up and you can go see him.
Yeah,
I want to be Justin when I grow up when it comes to Tetris. I think Beat Saber too. He seems like
it's
amazing
so
at
much
Beat Saber.
fucking fun.
What do you think of the door opening with this? Now that we've set the creative res loose on Luminous's other creation and now Tetris, and you talk about something like Puyo Puyo Tetris, will we see a Luminous versus Tetris VR? Is that going to happen?
That's a great question.
See, I'm only going to play one side of that.
That'd be a great way to get Luminous to more people. That's the biggest thing. Is like I think Luminous. I like Luminous. I think they're both great games. I like Luminous more than I like Tetris thing. But it would just be that idea that if you bundle it up with the same with how that got Puyo Puyo to way more people. Now granted, I played one of them and then I was like, I'll just only play Tetris.
Yeah.
Okay. I love Puyo Puyo. I think Puyo Puyo is great.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever played Luminous, which is crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Luminous is good.
Yeah.
We got to get John Drake on the phone. I want Amplitude VR.
No, dude.
What do you mean? No?
I hate Amplitude.
It'd be
I'm
so
so
good.
bad at it.
Why Thumper is pretty much that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not Amplitude.
But have you played Thumper?
Yeah, I beat them.
In VR.
I played it in VR. I beat it on Switch.
Okay.
It's.
Okay.
I enjoyed the hell out of Thumper, and I'm not a rhythm person, but something about that game really grabbed me.
It's a really well designed game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think tonight I'm gonna go home and set up and play Tetris Effect in VR, and then some more Red Dead Online.
Hell yeah.
I'm really
I'll
excited.
try to crank out the script fast and join you.
Let me know.
Cool. Well, thanks, Kevin.
No problem. I'm
Now,
gonna go.
We're gonna talk about Beat Saber.
Ooh.
Kevin, don't go anywhere.
Oh man, so good. I'm not playing it on the VR though.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh, you played it on Oculus, right?
On Oculus Rift.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm playing on PlayStation VR.
Honestly, I know that it doesn't qualify, but might be my game of the year.
How does it not qualify?
I mean,
Is this here?
is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Even
oh,
the Oculus version was the
Really?
same. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, dude.
Guys, might be my game of the year.
I
And
mean,
I played Assassin's Creed. Great game. Put over 100 hours. If I do this right, I'm going to put over 100 hours on Beat Saber. And just with those 10 levels that come with it.
Yeah.
Because I am all about it, trying to perfect it, and I'm so bad at rhythm games.
I love that you're into this, man.
I am like when I played for 20 minutes here, I was drenched in sweat. The room was humid.
Stinky.
Yeah. No, it wasn't stinky.
Okay.
It
Humid.
wasn't stinky.
It was just humid.
It was humid.
Can you articulate what it is about it that makes it a game of the year contender for you?
It's just a game that when I start playing, I don't want to put down, regardless of how physically exhausted I am, and I get physically exhausted.
Yeah.
Because some of the levels, you've got the giant blocks coming over you,
Yeah.
and I'm doing full-on squats to the ground that I didn't know I was capable of. But in the heat of the moment, the body does what it needs to. You know what I mean, guys?
So many people joked around about it with Tetris Effect, and I mean, even when I played at E3 and loved it. But like for me, Beat Saber is a religious experience of video games because I play lots of games, and you know, you get beat by a boss, and I mean, or maybe you mutter, right? Beat Saber, again, the physicality of it and what you're doing. Totally, every time, days later now, and I was joking around about it, but I'm trying of making it like my at least wake up workout regimen, not like workout, but like, you know, get my body moving. Because the story
aerobics,
goes,
that's a workout.
When I got it on last Monday, it was the Monday we had come back from LA for Survivor Series. So I'd been up at 4 a.m. Jen had gone to Montreal. I got back home at 8 o'clock, installed it, and I played it. And it was that I finished it, and when I was too tired, because your arms get tired after, it's like an hour and a half, I put it down, and it was like, man, I have so much energy. Like that took me from being so tired to being fine. I'm like, I need to start doing this every morning. And so this week, you know, being back again in town or whatever, I've been doing it every morning for between 30 minutes to an hour, and depending on how much time I have and what day it is. And it's doing that same thing of, it's waking me up and I'm ready to go, and I'm out there and I'm sweaty as hell because it is that thing of I'm dropping low, I'm doing it. But on top of that, it's got the rhythm game mechanics of, like when I go and I, like, you know, when they're little bastards and the song's been normal the whole time, and then at the very end they switch, like it's a blue move, and then I go for a red, but it's another blue, and I hit, I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, God damn it. And it's like, I'm still vocalizing all that. And I think it is the physicality and the movement and being so into it, but I'm so into it. And it is what VR is supposed to be of, I'm totally lost in that world.
Yep.
And then like I'll pop it up. I'm like, oh yeah, Jen in particular here. Hey, sorry. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't be yelling. Lucy's sleeping. Like I'm out there like an idiot screaming.
What makes Beat Saber very special to me is that it accomplishes its promise in a way that I think very few video games have. Of its goal is to make you feel fucking cool, and it never ceases to do that. You always feel like you're in control. You always know exactly what you're doing. The gameplay is so simple that, and I want to test this. I want to, like, Gia's never done VR. I just want to put it on her and just see how she does. Because I bet it would be one of those things of like, she'd fail the first time, do one more, do the third time, and totally be in.
So this is going to be her gateway to VR. You think?
And I just think that it's like, it's just such a damn cool, it's simple enough, but it adds just enough mechanics to make it complicated. And it's a beautiful arcade style game where you want to best your score.
Exactly.
Right?
That's the
want
biggest
to
thing
make
about it,
perfect.
right? Is I'm not the high score chaser. I'm not that thing, blah, blah, blah. When I'm working my way through in this workout or whatever, I'm working my way through story mode. But then they introduced at one point, I think up in like, I don't know, number 12 or the 12th tier or whatever of like, now it's about, they're giving you different challenges, right? Because they only have so many songs. So it's like, this one was like, as minimal hand movement as possible. I was like, oof, that's not what I want right now in terms of waking up. So I jumped out, just went into free play, which normal of a free play of like whatever, like that's not really for me. What's the goal? What's pushing me? And so to jump in there and go, and then I'm like, okay, cool. Wow, I almost did that all the way through. I'm gonna crank it up. Or I almost did that without a flaw. I'm gonna crank it up to hard and do that. Oh wow, okay. Well, damn. I click over and I'm like, Gifted Dim has a little bit more than me in points. I'm like, how do they do that if I only miss one? And then it's like, oh, right, the modifiers. And I click over to the modifiers, and like you can, if you make it easier, it, you know, subtracts multiplier. If you make it harder, it gives you more. So I'm doing that, and then I'm doing, it's like, there was one morning for like 43 minutes that I played the same song over and over and over and over again. Because the first one, of course, I missed like one. I was like, fuck, put it on no fail mode. Did it, and then I'm failing left. And then it's like getting in your head, but it's still like, oh, fuck, I'm going to perfect this. And it's on hard.
I love that, because that reminds me of the zeitgeist of Guitar Hero, where, I mean, I loved DDR back in the day so
See, that's what it reminds me so much of is DDR.
But my thing with Guitar Hero is it's that score challenge. It's the social side of it, where it's just like you are looking at other people's scores and you're like, I want to beat you. I want to be better than that.
And that's
DDR
why I like
was
Kevin
always
again.
in arcade, you're against the person you're with. This is more of like I have a goal that I'm constantly trying to do better. And that's why I love Amplitude so much, because for me, it was me and Andrea back and forth with our scores. And like when I boot it up, I can see where she's at. And I'm like, how the fuck did she do that?
Yeah.
And it makes you like keep playing, like going on different tracks until you're like, I fucking get it. And just go. I just love it, man.
No, it's Amplitude, Guitar Hero, Geo Wars. It's that arcade experience, and we forget that's what brought people into games originally. Was looking at that high score bar in the local arcade, walking in and being like, I don't even know who this person is. I see their three initials. It's invariably ass, you know, and that's his, or sex. Ass or sex is better than I am. And I've got to beat ass or sex, and you come in and try.
I mean, and it was that thing of, you know, I got to play a little bit, and then went to Thanksgiving, and it was going to my cousin's house, and I was like, it was that thing of like, if you have a PlayStation 4, it's not going to take much to push me out right now to go get in a car and go buy this and bring it back for everybody to play it.
Yeah.
For $200 too.
Yeah.
I was this close to
You should've
buying
done
one
it.
on. I mean, is it still 200 right now?
I forget what the deal is now.
Do it, Tim.
You
Do
can
it
get, you
live.
can get the Beat Saber
Do it, you coward.
Borderlands bundle in a couple
Jerry,
weeks.
egg him on.
What's that? Egg him on?
I'm not doing it
We
right
did the
now.
Gary Widow. Yeah, like it's a game when I'm not playing, I think about it. Like when I'm in it, time melts by. I'm having so much fun. I want to, you know, and it's interesting that Tetris came out and everybody's like, oh man, like, you know, what a great PlayStation VR game you play. And then Beat Saber came out and I'm like, I like this more. And it's that thing that's been pulling me away from Tetris, but there's so many great reasons to put on that headset now.
I think if I have to choose between one, I definitely like Beat Saber more.
Yeah.
It's what Tim is saying is totally accurate about it, like achieves its promise.
Yeah.
I just think its promise is incredibly ambitious.
Yeah.
Like I've never been into beat game, like, you know, games that
rhythm
you have to
games.
keep rhythm games. Thank you. And this is just like, I'm so in love with this game.
And for me, it's always, I've had that ceiling to rhythm games where I loved Rock Band and Guitar Hero, but like I was never going to be able to play on expert. Like it's just impossible. I couldn't do that. And so, and DDR is fun enough, but it's not what I want to do, right? Playing Beat Saber, you know, I feel like the story mode on normal, I'm crushing, but then they start adding multiplayer or, you know, just things. I'm like, all right, great, that's awesome. But then to go in and, you know, crank it up to hard and be like, all right, I did pretty well there. Crank it up to expert, get my teeth kicked in. But have that moment of like, I can do this though.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And like, there's moments in Beat Saber hard where I'm going and it's like, it seems like gibberish at first. And then you're like, oh, it's because this I'm doing this like 3 different things with one hand. And then this one's just getting that, right?
Well, that's the thing about brilliant rhythm game design is that the I'm totally blanking on what it's called, the note chart is designed in a way that is for movement that makes sense. Like back in a DDR, there's like techniques you learn, like galloping, where it's like when you look at it, it's like how the fuck am I supposed to move my legs that way? And then you realize it's like, oh, it's designed where you're supposed to do this like bounce thing, and once you learn the bounce, that's the easiest thing ever. And Guitar Hero has a similar thing where it's like, there's certain patterns they'll never do because it's just too hard to hit with your fingers. And with Beat Saber, they're teaching you to recognize patterns.
It's like playing The Witness really, really fast. I mean, you do it enough and suddenly you speak the language.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're like, oh, wait.
And that's the thing is like, it's all natural too. I talked to you about it, I think on the Amazon stream, in terms of that, as it's going, for the most part, if I'm going to swing up with my, you know, blue, the next blue is usually going to be down, right? Like they're doing it, and once you start getting the muscle memory of it, you know to leave your hand in a certain position unless it's a hard reset to come back to it.
It's really crazy. I feel like going back to the fulfilling its promise, I think that in addition to it being a great rhythm game and all that, and it being simple and arcade style and all that, this is the best Star Wars game we ever got. And it's like,
Oh my God, that's true.
where it's like they really simplified and boiled it down to like what should a lightsaber game be?
Yeah.
And we've never got that on the Wii with motion controls or with Kinect or
Yeah, we
with
never
any of
got
that.
our motion lightsaber game we wanted.
And this is essentially, it's just like drone challenges
Yep.
of like knocking things
stand there
out.
and let
Yeah.
cut everything in
just things
half.
are coming at you, and it's like they did it. They fucking did it, and it works. Like that's the coolest thing
That's
to me.
rad. I agree.
Every time the song ends, I like touching my blades together.
Oh
little
yeah,
sparks. It's
when
one of those,
when I lose, I'm like, damn, like I do it every time.
It's great. So cool.
Look down
God
to
bless
see
that
your
game.
feet, look down to like the score, carve it up or whatever.
Man, now I'm stoked to go play it.
Yeah, me too. And that's the thing is like I enjoy so much that like I'll finish doing it in the morning and go climb the shower, and then it's like Echo, play Beat Saber soundtrack, and it's just like, well, it's gone. It's fucking.
There you
awesome.
go.
One last thing. I feel like I've always wanted to get a rhythm game that I like so that I could kind of get a better sense of rhythm. And I was playing the third song, and it's got this part where you're going up and down with your left hand. And there was a moment of like, oh, there's the beat. Like, I'm hitting it. Yeah.
What a game! What a game!
That's so funny. Thank you, Kevin. Greg, real quick, I just want to talk about Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Sure.
You platinumed it.
Platinumed Assassin's Creed Odyssey, everybody.
What was that
85
like?
hours. It was
Platinum
great.
number what?
80. This is number 80. Number 80 on the nose. Yeah. Now I'm gonna go get a bunch of. I worked really hard on this one, so I'm gonna go binge a bunch of garbage ones.
Do you have a plan for 100?
No, God no.
Do you have a
is
plan
it-
for 200?
God, no.
Okay, there we go.
Jesus, never.
The episode.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
aware.
okay. Just
I'm
making sure.
aware,
No, not at all. I mean, when we get closer, maybe, but even then, it's like, such a, like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna say I'm gonna platinum Metal Gear again? Not a chance.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
gotcha,
I'm never gonna get anything. It was awesome. It's great, and it's still my number 2 for game of the year. I can't wait to play more of it. I think it's still so remarkable what they're doing with that game for free. Even if you want to take out next week, the DLC drops for episode 1 of the main DLC stuff for season pass. But the way that even coming back from, I've talked about it in the show, I think, or Monday of our shows, but the major update they gave in November that of course let me take the stats of one piece of gear but the look of another. It's basically me playing now, and it's like fashion show where I'm just like, oh, I want it, and I'm like going there tinkering, and then there's like subsets to change the colors on stuff. So
That's
I'm like,
great. What a great feature.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that is cool.
Last night or early this morning, depending on where you live, right? They put in another free patch that adds that master ability stuff. So level 50 was the level cap. The same thing with the ability to change the clothes. They upped it to 70 on top. So you're still gaining all these ability points, but like at this point, you're so vested in what you're using. Why would you know what buttons are there? So all these ability points are building up, which you can now take and apply to this master ability thing, which will give you more fire damage, more what you know what I mean. Like you go in and make the character even more custom, making it even better of an RPG. Platinuming it though, it was awesome. I was talking about it today on Games Daily. Somebody was like, "Oh, and like." You talk so much. You don't shut up about Odyssey, but you're still saying God of War is your game of the year. Why? And the differences. I think there's so much to do in Odyssey that, like I was saying, like, I got to fast travel over there, get on the horse, ride over there. I didn't hate that at any point, but it was it was grindy of what I was doing. It was grindy to walk, be pouring over the map, but. Everything was at my fingertips. There wasn't one of those trophies that I was like, oh God, how the fuck am I going to do this? And then doing it and not, failing or something like that.
Yeah.
It was all there. There was no glitches. It all ran the way I want to. And I think the most important thing about it is traditionally, I am not I've platinumed the game. Oh, and they've put more trophies in. I'm going to go chase that, right? Like, I'm so all in for even the non-trophies parts of this. Like, this is obviously I'm going to go in and knock out the few DLC trophies there are right now already because they've already started putting that stuff in. But next week, run through and do that stuff. This is a game I want to keep the 100% at, or I guess get back to 100 or get to 100% on, rather than like ignore it. Like Spider-Man, somebody hit me up, was like, "Oh man, like, are you going to go get every trophy?"
Game Plus and all that.
And I'm like, God,
Nope.
yeah, no, I'm not. I'd love to have time and all that stuff to go do New Game Plus on the hardest difficulty and all that. I'm not, and it doesn't bother me that I didn't. I have the platinum, that's good enough. Whereas this one, I want to keep going, and it's another one of those goofy, lame, like I just want to, it's my tip of the hat to that game. That game is so fucking good that I will follow it to the ends of the earth, and whatever they want to put in there and do, I'm going to be down to go play and do, because it hung in the entire time. It was awesome the entire time, and 85 hours in, I'm still taking side quests and not skipping the dialogue.
Rad.
I'm like, you're an interesting character.
Man,
what do you have to
that
say?
counts
All
for a
right,
lot.
cool.
That's crazy.
That says
I'm
a
still
lot right
fucking
there.
everybody. Everybody.
Hell yeah,
You know what I
dude.
mean? I
Get
got this
your
cool,
fuck on,
got this
Greg.
nice white and gold outfit I'm rocking right now. Yeah, it's awesome.
Hell yeah. So many babies.
Yeah.
Jared.
Yeah.
You wanted to talk about Pokemon Let's Go.
I did just briefly because
Pikachu or Eevee?
Pikachu, my friend. Pikachu. Lightning rat for me. Yeah. So I am a man of my word and a man of the people.
You are a man of the people.
These are all true
I've been saying
statements.
that for years.
I had to show my fidelity to being a man of the people because it has. Last week on this show, I was talking about how I've never gotten into Pokemon. Y'all were talking up the Eevee, talking up the Pikachu, talking up the Pokemans. And I said, you know what? I really ought to give this a try. Greg Miller, can you get me a code? If you can get me a code, I'll try it. Greg Miller said, I can get you a code. Then about 10 minutes later into the podcast,
You got to text back and say, no, I can't.
I can't get you a code. But I'm a man of the people, so I dropped the money anyway because because that's what the people have to do.
As did many other people.
As did many other people, and I'm a man of the people. Exactly,
America.
a lot of them. But I'm also a man of my word. It's been a busy week, but I had to go in there and try this out. So this is my first foray really back into Pokemon in a very long time. I've never gotten into the series, and after just a little time with this game, my initial assessment is Pokemon is fucked up.
It is.
Pokemon is strange.
It really is.
I appear and there's this old man and he's like, hey, he just says to me overtly, one of the first things in the game, some people are nice to Pokemon and others make them fight. I was like, well, just you be you then. You be overt about that. That sounds good. And then I go out and I enslave this sentient being that I meet.
It loves it.
It's like I will throw a ball, hit you in the head, capture you, take you, then you sniff my hand and follow me around, and then I wander around in fields, beating up animals and kidnapping them and keeping them in my pocket.
Fair.
The game is interesting and I like it. It's simple, just as you described. But I can definitely see the loop of, hey, I got to get whether or not.
Got to catch them all.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think if I can fill that Pokedex, that'll be fine. I could not give two hoots about the story. I named myself Pokemon. I named my rival Pokemon, and I'm naming all my Pokemon that I can name Pokemon. And that makes the dialogue a lot of fun. Let me tell you
Pokemon,
why.
it's me, Pokemon.
Exactly.
Let me
There's
show you
a
my
lot of that
Pokemon.
There's a lot of that going on, and that's made the story more amusing.
I guess.
I really just could not care less. The music's
How
charming.
far are you? How many badges do you have?
Gosh, no,
is the
I am
question.
nowhere. I am so early on, Tim.
Did you get a badge?
I don't even have a badge yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably an hour in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Real
real
story
early
there.
Huh?
That's all bullshit.
Yeah. What?
There's nothing.
There's going to be right. Does it get better?
Yeah.
Am I about to
Story
find the Pokemon
totally,
lore?
absolutely gets better.
All right.
Yeah. Because it's like the thing with Pokemon dumbed down. It's like there's the main quest, which is get the 8 badges.
Yeah, get the
and
badges.
Then face the Elite Four.
No.
But there's side stories that go on that are the more interesting.
Are they going to interest me? Are
There's-
they going to pull me in?
I mean, they're cool.
All right.
Like there's a whole evil organization that's like enslaving Pokemon, making them do bad things. You gotta
I'm
stop
an evil
them.
organization that's enslaving
No, you're
Pokemon.
enslaving them
No,
for
you're
good
doing-
things.
yes,
They're
you're
doing
doing
bad
it for
I
things.
make them fight each other.
I saw a Polygon article this week that was really funny and so accurate, where it's just like the world of Pokemon is so interesting because it is just the world of Pokemon. There's not a single person that talks that isn't talking about Pokemon.
Yeah.
Everyone's fucking either a daycare person for Pokemon or like
They have a
using
shop to sell you things that help you get
Pokemon
Pokemon
stuff.
stuff.
It's like
Yeah.
it's just Pokemon hospitals, Pokemon this.
Is it possible?
Hold on, fuck you. There's the bike guy.
Selling you bikes.
Yeah.
That is true.
There you go. Greg Miller
That
wins.
is true.
Tim, is this a to serve man situation? Have you ever seen Twilight Zone to Serve Man? Classic episode.
I don't remember this one.
No.
Aliens come to Earth
Mm-hmm.
and they bring with them fantastic technology that makes human lives so much better. They bring peace to the planet Earth. They put force fields up between the nations that prevent wars.
Mm-hmm.
They serve and help and share their technology, and they take humans to trips to their home world, trips that are so marvelous to this utopian paradise that many choose never to come back. And they brought their sort of Bible, which is called To Serve Man, which is their purpose. And one of the guys finally decides to take the trip to the alien homeworld, and he's on the spaceship, but he's been working on translating it, and he finds out that To Serve Man is a cookbook on how to prepare people.
I like that.
And they're all being fattened up. Are the Pokemon, in fact, the masters? In this world that's obsessed with Pokemon, I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, my thesis, The Pokemon are the true masters, and we are their slaves.
Wait till you get to Gen 5, Jared Petty. Things get real crazy.
All right, there we go. There we are.
Wait till you meet the god of Pokemon, aren't you? So
my goodness, okay.
Shit gets crazy.
All right, but okay, so all this crap aside, I'm an hour into this little game, and I think it's fun. I like that I'm walking across green fields, and cute little animals come up to me, and there's happy music playing, and I throw balls at them.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. Do you think you're going to keep playing through?
Yes, I will.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to keep
I
playing
want
this
you
game.
to beat this game, and I'm interested to see what you have to say.
I'm going to keep playing this game.
Yeah.
But I'm very early on.
I finally beat it, and the first gen of Pokemon is the first gen. There's a lot of issues pacing-wise and just weird issues, but at the end of it, I'm like, you know what? That was a nice little jaunt back
I
into
enjoyed
my memory.
myself.
You know what I mean?
I'm having a good time with it. I've been dividing my, mostly it's been Red Dead for the show and other work I've had to do, but dividing my handheld time between that and I've actually gotten ridiculously into WarioWare Gold on the 3DS.
Yeah, you were talking about that last week.
That game's so good. That game's so good.
Really?
It's redonkulous. You were talking about Game of the Year type stuff. Like that is a contender.
That's so weird.
It's really great.
I never got into the WarioWare games.
It's. I think
seems super up my alley.
I think
too.
it's the best WarioWare game.
Really?
And there's several good ones. Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole other can of worms. But yeah, I like the Pokemans, and I'm speaking mostly from ignorance.
I love it.
An hour
Hey,
into
that's
the game.
great.
So
Awesome. You also chose Pikachu, so you were wrong from the start. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Kind of Funny Gamescast is brought to you by Movement. Let me tell you about Movement. Movement watches. You're familiar with Movement watches. They got Movement sunglasses. Cool, Greg, are you wearing yours right now? I know I'm putting you on the spot here. It's on his desk. Okay, he has the rose gold one though. You get compliments on that?
Yeah, but I give myself a lot more confidence than I get.
Yeah?
Brag about it a good amount.
Well, that's the thing. It's worth bragging about. Ladies and gentlemen, Movement watches, they never go out of style. There's so much classic style, quality construction, styled minimalism. Movement did all the hard work this holiday season so you wouldn't have to. And they made awesome gift boxes and packages. These make great presents. I've gifted Gia sunglasses many times. She loves them. Wears them from all different occasions. Was she trying to look trendy and cool on the streets? Or what's up? She doesn't wear them inside. She has a hard no sunglasses inside policy. Kevin Coelho wears his inside. Because he's Kevin Coelho, and he doesn't really have rules. If you need help giving the perfect gift this season but don't know where to start, the guys over at Movement Watches got your back. They've curated all their favorite styles into special gift boxes for you so you can absolutely crush the holiday season without the added stress. You can get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/kinda. Movement's launching new styles on their site all the time. Check out the latest at mvmt.com/kinda. That's mvmt.com/kinda. Join the movement. This episode is also brought to you by Stamps.com. These days, you can get practically everything on demand. Just like our podcast, you can listen anytime you want when it's convenient to you. But guess what? You know what you can also do on demand? Get postage. Joey's been doing this all the time. We ship out so much stuff here at Kind of Funny, and Stamps.com has helped out so much. It's so simple just being able to go sign up, get the things that we need, and not have to deal with going anywhere. You know what I mean? With Stamps.com, you can access all the services of the post office right from your desk. You can buy and print real U.S. postage for any letter or any package. It's all available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just click print, mail, and you're done. Cool, Greg? Does that make you happy? You have to ship a lot of stuff.
This last week's the first time we put into effect. It's been so easy.
There you
half
go.
of it was just done.
Huh?
Half of it just seemed like it was just done.
There you go. That's the best recommendation you can get. Stamps.com will even send you a digital scale. You can weigh your letters and packages and print the exact amount of postage every time. Right now, you can use Gamescast for this special offer of a 4-week trial, including postage and a digital scale. Go to Stamps.com. Before you do anything else, click on the radio microphone at the top of the homepage and type in Gamescast. That's Stamps.com and enter Gamescast. Get your stamps.
Get your stamps.
Back to
Put
the show.
them over there where them stamps go. They went on a postage.
I want to ask you guys a question.
Yes, sir.
This week, there's been a lot going on. This game, Fallout 76, comes out.
Yeah.
All right. We've seen...
It's been out before.
What's up?
Oh, this week? Okay.
Yeah.
I was making sure you understood that it didn't come out this week, but I understand where you're going with this statement.
Yeah,
I stopped.
this week there's been a lot of... the game came out, people overall didn't like it. Some people liked it more than others. But overall, left a bad taste in people's mouth. Yeah. And it continues to do that. Over this last week, we've seen more and more headlines kind of talking about all the mistakes that Bethesda made with this game, whether it's just the game simply not working correctly, all the way down to the $200 pre-order bonus for the collector's edition.
The collector's edition, yeah, the $200 collector's edition.
With a promised canvas bag is actually a nylon bag, which
Right.
is a lot cheaper in quality.
Yeah.
And their answer to make those people happy was to give them a $5 in-game credit.
500 atoms.
Yeah.
They can
So,
get
yeah,
you
not
some
even $5.
succulents.
They gave you some in-game stuff that's worth $5 in real life, but that's not good.
No.
Yeah.
So I ask you guys, what should Bethesda do to get out of this situation, to fix this situation as best as possible?
Wow. I mean, that's hard. Once you've broken trust on something, and that's the perception that some people have in this situation, I think particularly around the bag thing, what you have to do, I think, is be very transparent about it. Now, it's hard for a corporate entity to depict transparency. That's a difficult thing because a corporation is not a person. It's an assemblage of people, not all of whom had the same opinions on what should happen or how it should happen. But you need to have your decision makers in your company come together and reach a very congruent statement that doesn't sound like PR speak, that is concise, direct, and outlines what the plan for change will be and when that plan will take place as accurately as possible. So I think what you do first is you make the bag thing right with an actual reimbursement of some kind, and take the hit. You take the loss, you take whatever it'll cost to make this right outside of the game, and you solve that PR/customer trust issue problem right there. Then when it comes to Fallout 76, you come forward and say, we're proud of the work we did, but it's obvious there are issues with this game based on public response. So we're going to address this, and this in game, and we're going to try to have that done by, well, we'll let you know. Because I think promising a date, if it's not possible to promise a date, might be problematic. Internally, you're going to need to restructure and retool your DLC plans so that you were addressing not what your pet project on this was before, but what people were actually asking for right now to make it an enjoyable experience, and retool around that. If internally you are not capable of doing that, if you don't have the infrastructure and the plan in place to make that kind of change work, then I think you come out and say, and you drop it like a hotcake and move on to the next thing.
Do you think that's a possibility? Can they pull the plug on Fallout 76?
I think that they can let it do what Nintendo does when something doesn't work and let it die a quiet death very quickly. Something somebody pointed out to me once about, you remember the Virtua Boy? Mm-hmm. The Virtua Boy was abandoned by Nintendo in roughly 6 months. From the time it was launched to the time they stopped making games for it, about 6 months. They're just like, whoop, this ain't going to fly. And they just dropped it. And Nintendo's done that with several things. Just like, oh, that didn't work out. Gone. We already made our money. Gone. Moving on to the next thing. Investing in what works. I don't know their books. I don't know their internal culture. And it's easy for me sitting at this desk to say that. But I can tell you this. Trying to massage your way through audience expectations always skirts perilously close when you're just trying to make it work so that what you want to do or what's expedient for you as a company is not necessarily what's good for your audience or what they want. You come perilously close to the cliff of holding your audience in contempt. And the moment, as an entertainment company, that you begin to hold your audience in contempt, you have lost the ability to make an effective toy, and they will recognize it. Because ultimately, video game companies are toy makers. They are there to serve fun and fantasy. And when you're trying to bridge that gap, you're doing neither, and people can see right through it. Those are my thoughts.
The people that are upset with Fallout 76, of which there are many, do you think that there is enough of them that will not support the next Bethesda game for it to matter one way or another?
You're just way too far down the line. You're way too far down the line. What we're at is that decision and that choice is based on what happens next. That's the problem we're at right now, right? Like, so I agree with a lot of what Jared said, right? If I'm suddenly granted that we don't want to do this anymore, Greg, you're in charge of Bethesda. Oh shit, okay.
Oh shit.
My first, let's get on this nylon bag thing, right? Like, what I think Bethesda needs to do is what we've always complimented them on, is be the company of the people again, and have Pete or whoever you want to, the developers, whatever, talk. Do a live stream that is a no bullshit, we're Bethesda. We have nothing. We don't have to worry about it, right? Like they get to curse on the stage and do all these different things and talk to directly their fan base, right? You saw the apology they'd put up on Reddit and all that stuff. The way they said, right, we didn't want you to think the silence meant nothing was happening. We're sorry and understand this was not the right approach, and we'll work to build a better bridge between you and the dev team at BGS, right? There's more to it. There was another statement too on a blog, but they need to double down on that, and they need to be like, guess what? I know that sounds like shit. It's what we've done. It kind of funny, right? But like, I think in terms of us being an entertainment company and them being a video game company, it's very similar in terms of, especially even the attitude, right? It should just be, hey everybody, Fallout 76 Town Hall on Monday, 10 a.m. Come be a part of it. And it is Pete, it is the developer, it is a host, it is whoever you want it to be being there, and just like literally no script or anything, and just being like,
let's talk.
So what the fuck is going on? Like, let's get everybody on the same page and let's commit to doing these kind of these kind of things a lot. You know what I mean? I don't know if they need to be weekly, but probably weekly, at least in the beginning as we go and peel back of like, where'd the game get off track? What is the next big fix? Because I feel like if you were talking to the community and having an open conversation and not letting headlines and Reddit threads and Twitter do the work, it'd be a different story, right? Of literally on that first thread, I'm like, all right, let's get ahead. What happened? Where are we at with the game? Blah, blah, blah. Great. Next point of business. This fucking nylon bag bullshit. What happened? And then, because I've seen there's like, well, the material's hard to get and this changed my, why didn't anybody tell anybody? Why did they not think that was something to tell them? Okay, you didn't tell them. Who thought 500 atoms was a good idea? And be like, well, like what I was talking about on Games Daily, right? I would be like, all right, cool. Instead, what we're going to do is give everybody who did that, it's $500. I'm going to give you $50 of in-game cash, right? Because again, this is just in-game cash. It's just, I'm not cutting it out of anybody. I'm actually, for a lot of people, probably encouraging them to turn the game fucking back on. I bet a lot of people turn it off and like, I don't want to play this anymore, walked away, right? Here's $50, go buy an outfit or two, go do this, blah, blah, blah. It also while we're talking about what's broken with the game in general too, there's some kind of reward pack I'm giving you. If you've turned it on since that day till this day, right? You're going to get whatever it is. I don't, a whole bunch of aluminum, a whole bunch of scraps, a whole bunch of different stuff that you would need in the game, right? There's a bunch of in-game stuff like that to get people back into it to hopefully find that the patches that already put out have made things more stable, have already done things. But then it does need to be cool. Your trust in us as Bethesda is what matters the most to us. We understand that for many of you, we violated that. The bag thing wasn't on purpose. I assume wasn't on purpose. We weren't trying to pull the wool over your eyes. This changed, and in whatever's happening over in the marketing fulfillment department over there isn't talking to what's happening in Todd Howard's department. So, these things happen and it wasn't on purpose. We understand that. But more importantly, we understand we asked a lot of you to come with us on this journey as we make Fallout into a multiplayer game. Yeah. We asked you to trust us and believe in us, and we know what we're doing. And this is, again, what I'm talking about, like what happens from here on out. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse. This is an Xbox moment, right? We have a vision and we have a plan, and the game isn't where we want it to be and it isn't where you want it to be, but we're going to get there. We're still going to prove to you in X months, X weeks, in X days, and whatever, why we say this game needs to exist, how much fun this game can be. The fact that it's out there, the party system isn't what we want to be. You know what I mean? But basically someone needs to get up, stand up and be like, we're still in we're still in, period. Not even if you're still in. We're still in, and if you're no longer in and you're mad that you bought it, we're going to make this game great so that in 6 months, a year, you hear about the major update that comes out and you're like, I want to put it back in and I want to play it. Because again, they don't have the luxury of being Nintendo in Virtual Boy status, right? It's a different industry, let alone they're such a different company. I was talking to you about this today, right? Like, Bethesda needs to immediately right the ship and have the mea culpa and hey, we fucked up and hey, we're fixing this and we're going to get it there with the little things before they can have even their Destiny 2 giant Forsaken thing.
That's where I was leaning,
But I mean, on top of that, I don't know if you can even get to the Destiny Forsaken announcement, we haven't understand, blah, blah, before you get to E3. And I don't think you can go in and have the Bethesda E3. Now think about like the dominoes that are happening in terms of they need to right the ship now on this so that this admitted problem doesn't fester and become something so much worse that people are like, I'm not going to watch the press conference.
There is one other approach, and when I brought up the Game Boy analogy, the Virtual Boy analogy, it was to address this. I think everything you just said makes tremendous sense if they can deliver it within that timetable.
Yep, then that's the problem.
That's a logistical issue.
Yeah.
if they can possibly do that, if there's a way to make that work that doesn't involve abusing their employees, and forcing everybody into horrible overtime, and if there's a way to do that, then do that, because that's the way to make it right. If not, fix the bag thing, come out and be transparent about what happened. And if you can't fix it, what you walk out and say is, we're sorry, we screwed up, we will do better next time, and you drop it.
Wow.
That's the other possibility. Because the only thing worse than that is promising you can fix it and not being able to in time.
But here's my thing, and I understand, like, this is such a weird conversation to have, right? Because at this point, the quality of the game, not the bugs, not the connection issue, not the bugs, not the connection issues, not the bag, not the public not like, we're so far removed from the game that as somebody who enjoys the game as it is now, and like, you know what I mean, like I'm going to play more Fallout probably this weekend, right? Like, just run around and keep building out my little thing and seeing what's going on. The game, and this is my personal opinion on it, obviously. The game and the mechanics inside of it are not fundamentally broken.
Yeah.
And can/are fun. They can be, and they are fun. So I think, honestly, like,
it's fixable.
The problem people have, again, right? And again, this is no one from Bethesda communicating the message and what the vision is. And again, Bethesda, a company that, Pete Hines, I always, Pete's the mouthpiece, obviously. He's the guy who does our shows and every other show. Answering questions, tough questions that are lodged on, right? The fact that no one from there is saying, well, no, like, yeah, there's no NPCs in the game, but the robots are the NPCs. The robots are interesting. The holotapes are interesting. Like, we have 180, and I'm making that number up. Again, I've been given Bethesda. We have 180 hours of VO recording time in these things, and they're interesting. But we want you to blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like, game itself isn't completely off track. The reviews always get hung up on, man, and it just fucking crashed a bunch, and I have a good PC. It shouldn't run like shit. And why is the guy in T-pose when I come in? And why am I shooting this enemy and it's not reacting to me? And why did this guy get stuck in a wall, right?
And what's in the post game? That's the other.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's a content issue.
And it is it feels really lifeless. The world feels really lifeless. And it could be, again, Bethesda just going in this live stream, right? Being like, listen, yeah, the world is lifeless. You're the first people to come out of the vault since the explosion went off. I know that sounds like an out. And again, if this is coming in like a conversation, I know it sounds like an out. It's not an out. It's what we designed because we want you to have communications. And one of our problems is the map's the biggest we've ever done. Maybe that wasn't the best idea with 12 players on it.
And that's the problem that I'm worried about, Greg, is that it might just be that the game, which is full of fundamentally good ideas and some very solid mechanics, because I'm not a hater on this thing at all.
Oh, no. Yeah, no.
What I'm worried about, and the reason I keep dancing here, is if they do an internal audit and they have the resources to fix it within an acceptable timeline, a timeline that'll actually affect people's opinion, say E3.
Yeah.
But that's only 7 months away. I'm not sure that Bethesda, and I don't know their internal structure, has the resources to completely retool a massive multiplayer online AAA 100%. Game in 7 months and fix all these things. I don't know if they can.
You're 100% correct.
And if they can't, then my thoughts are this. In either situation, what you lean into is the fact that most people, and I really do believe this, in our sphere, fans, want to like things. They want to like games. There are always people out there that don't want to like things. But right now what we have are people that normally are used to enjoying things, that got really enthusiastic, that are just like, this isn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
And they want to forgive. I think you lean in and say, because if they look and they go, if this pushes their next project out another year, then that's tens to hundreds of millions of dollars. They may not be able to absorb the blow. They may have to cut and run. And if they do, I think you got to look people in the eye and say, this game isn't what we hoped. The next one will be. And we're moving on to that.
You are on point with so much of that. And I'm not arguing. And that's why I just think it's fascinating. This in terms of what we're talking about with like streaming technology, next generation, right? This is another holy shit. Like, it could, like, I know it sounds crazy, but stick with me. This could be Bethesda's THQ UDraw tablet of like, whoa, we bet wrong here, and now we're fucking hung out here. And like, that's the thing for me, and especially with what you're talking about, and me with Dominoes, is that I don't expect the game to be Yeah, oh man, it's recovered and everything's awesome and everybody loves it. It's not going to pull a No Man's Sky, right? Or even Elder Scrolls Online by E3. I feel you have to. I'm working in this analogy and this hypothetical on the assumption that there was going to be a Bethesda press conference this year, right?
So that's a question I want to ask. Is there a Bethesda press conference?
And see, this is where I'm going with where I'm going. I'm under the assumption on paper there is, and I think that you have to turn the tides of this thing before it gets worse, as it's clearly every day getting worse. Turn the tides on this so that the well isn't poisoned. So that what you have to get in the next 7 months or 6, right? You have to get this positive. You have to get this message positive again. Of we're doing the right things. We're working on it. We'll reveal our Forsaken at a different time. We're calling it Forsaken. And then E3, you have to have Forsaken ready to go, which is a monumental task of turning it around and telling you why this game's going to be fixed and what it's going to be. Because you can't. If you say, guys, hey, we tried in the next 7 months. Hey guys, we tried. We fucked up. This can't. We can't. This Fallout 76 is what it is. We're pulling the plug. Whatever you want to say. You get to E3 and there's no amount of falling on the sword that wins you back what you've lost. And that, because then it is like, it's the same thing of getting there and have they just shot themselves in the foot? How much of their community, the Bethesda community that buys Fallout shoes and shirts and all this crazy shit, right? Like, how many of them have stuck around? How many of them believe it? You know what I mean? Like, this is literally their worst nightmare to see going. I follow the Fallout. I've always followed the Fallout subreddit and then the Fallout 76 subreddit, and the way people talk on there of like, do you have brand loyalty? Will you buy this game again? Like, what? Like, these are the Jesus Christ, not the conversations you want to have 2 weeks following the launch of this game.
The other possibility is that and we haven't talked about this yet, is that they also understood even better than we do what a risk this was. That they took a AAA risk and that they do have a buffer built against it. I think that there's at least some buffer in there. The fact that they released the game they did when they did, across from Red Dead, across from Odyssey, across from, virtually across from Smash.
Yeah.
And that they went out with what they did anyway, not seeing this response coming, leads me to believe that they might have had to have gotten it out at this point. Like, instead of delaying it, instead of pushing it down the road. That they may have just had to push it out the door. And that doesn't make me confident that they have the resources in place to do a Forsaken and fix everything that's already broken and do it in time. And again, I could be I'm talking out of my butt here. For all I know, they're going to come out next week and be like, we're fixing it. Here's the timetable. Here's how we're going to do it. And they've got to, or they're going to push something else down the road a year and make it happen. And boy, would I be thrilled, because I'd love to see them make good on a broken product. But live service games are a pain in the butt, man. I mean, maybe they had a Destiny plan. Maybe they looked at that and said, no, man, it's going to suck for a year and then it'll be good. Maybe they knew that internally the whole time. And if they did, then they're already set up to fix all this. And we're talking moot. And the problem is that they stayed silent when they should have talked.
The way to fix this right is to talk and talk and talk.
So this is impossible. Like, they would never do this. I don't think it's the right business move. But to go with what you're saying of like, they can't just cut and run.
Cut and run, yeah.
What if they cut and run and refunded? And like, they would never do that, because then they lost the cost of developing the game and would have to, like, they're losing a lot of money. But do you think that would make people happy enough going into an E3 of just like, they fucked up, they admitted it, and
well, when they say cut and run, I want to be clear. You fulfill your obligations. Like, you don't take the game offline. Anything you've promised, you still have to deliver at that point. And I don't know what they have. I mean, season pass wise, etc. I don't even know what the structure for 76 is. Is there anything? Yeah, I'm not sure. But you leave the servers on. It's not like you took the game away from people. You just sold people a mediocre video game. And if this weren't a live service game, I'm not sure we'd be having this conversation. Sometimes games come out and they're disappointing.
That's absolutely true.
And maybe that's just what we're looking at here. Internally, they just look and go, we made a big old multiplayer game, and guess what? It's not good. Sorry about that. We usually make good games. See Dishonored 2, see Doom, see see Prey, see all the things we did last year and the year before that and the year before that. Man, we screwed up. We don't do that much. We won't do it again.
But it's just so different though, right? Because it's Bethesda Game Studios. Don't get me wrong. They published a bunch of those games, obviously. But like, this is like Todd Howard came out on stage and walked you through this, right?
You're right.
And that's the problem here of you can't take away from the maybe they just made it. Maybe if it wasn't a lot, if they put out a Fallout period single player that didn't run, there would be this conversation still. Like this is one of the names amongst names when you talk about IP that's valuable, right? Elder Scrolls and Fallout, like they're up there with everything else in terms of holy shit. World stops when these kind of games come out. And so the fact that it was that we saw it, and this is why I know if you want to be the haters being so happy about all this, right? Like last year's Game Awards was the video from Bethesda that was like, single player isn't dead, single player is awesome. Then it was like, hey, we're making a Fallout game. And the initial reaction was from the audience, we don't want that, right? Like that's not what Fallout is.
We talked about this last week. I think it was last week a bit about Pokemon Let's Go. When that was announced, so many people were just like Pokemon fans, like this isn't what we want. Like what the fuck is this? But the game ended up coming out, and not everyone's happy. But I would say the majority of people are like, all right, this is cool. It's not what I'm looking for. That's coming later. But
I think it's fun.
I'm having a good time with this, whatever. Whereas I feel like with Fallout, it's not that situation. It is the majority of people are like, told you so. This is not good.
What happens if you come to? We talk about a Bethesda press conference, whether there's a conference or not. We get to E3. And suddenly, Elder Scrolls is there. I mean, it's all forgiven. Let's say they just kill this thing, and Elder Scrolls is there. I don't think there's a universe where Elder Scrolls, whether it was planned or not before, I would bet portions of my anatomy we will see something about Elder Scrolls this year at E3 now. Like whether
anything turn the tides on this.
There will be something about Elder Scrolls because no, we make this too. Remember, good games like that's going to happen.
My thing is, and this all gets complicated, and I feel like this is not a safe bet at all because I do feel like I say this every year and it ends up happening. But like we all thought Bethesda doing a press conference was a one-off, and then it wasn't, and then it just kept going. It's like, oh shit, they're proving they can do this, and we kind of just expect them to always be there, regardless of this Fallout 76 stuff. I would still say I don't think they're going to do one. And like now that this is happening, I'm like, I really don't think they're going to do one.
I think you can. I do think they plan one. I do think it's going to cost them a ton of money to cancel it and push all and like it's going to delay projects and stuff. But I think at this point, and I think again, speaking to who, and I don't know Bethesda, but like the Bethesda I do know, I do think this is all right, fuck, let's make this right. I can't imagine this. That's not who this company is that I know. And I'm saying as a consumer, as a fan, whatever, that would be like, guys, we're not supporting it anymore. It didn't go. They're going to sit there and be like, all right, shut everything else down. Everybody get in this room. We're licking our wounds and we're going to make this right.
Yeah, that's the call I want to see. I want to be clear about that. I've talked a lot about it, them running away from it. I want to see that call, but I only want to see that call if they can deliver. And I don't, because I do think that we talk like making that call, but if you do not have the infrastructure in place to deliver it and you can't build it, don't promise it. Yeah. That just makes things worse.
Sure.
Because you only get one apology. You can't come right back on the same game and be like, no, we fixed it. No, we fixed it this time. No, this time.
I didn't follow it closely enough back in the day, but apparently people like to point out Elder Scrolls Online wasn't a huge hit when it came out, but it got there, right?
Yeah,
so that's the same thing. I feel like Andrea on the show was talking about getting those guys in, the ZeniMax folks who did that one, to come in and talk to that. And I have to imagine if you're there, it is all hands on deck. What is the list? But again, that should be, I think at some point that list needs to be shared sooner than later. Because it does need to be that like, yep, we see it and we're working. And they've detailed 2 updates, obviously, in terms of what's happening. But again, I'm not trying to at all pat myself on the back or tell me this is why I should listen to Greg Miller. But it was, remember when they put out the letter, and we talked about this in Games Daily, but they put out that letter leading into it of like, we're so excited. We have this vision for Fallout. You're going to join us. It's going to be rough here in the beginning. And it was like, oh no. Like if a video game publisher is telling you, or developer is telling you it's going to be rough, that means it's going to be a train wreck, and it's a train wreck, right? And so like them putting out this update that's like, yep, we're increasing the stash from whatever, I think it's 300 to 600 or something. And they're like, we know that's, keep in mind, they're like, we know that's still not enough, but we have to see if that breaks the game. And you're like, woof. Like this game is such, like, if they should have,
it seems like it shipped before it was ready.
Of course, and I think and again, like you can sit there and be like, well, why did they call it the beta and sell early access, or why didn't they do this, blah blah blah, and it's all these different things that still come back to the fact that works when you're PUBG. When you literally are player unknown and you're releasing this game and you're trying to figure it out and you're a couple
it does
people,
not work
it
when
doesn't
it's
work when
your
you're Bethesda.
main event
You're Bethesda.
of your
Yeah, I mean,
E3.
we could look over at Red Dead and say, well, Red Dead Online's having some, but they also sold a 100-hour generation-defining single-player game in the same box.
The problems Red Dead Online's beta are having are not in the same
league either. Right.
I've not run into any character that's just standing there.
Exactly.
Or I run up and shoot
I
him
didn't
and
want
they're
to be
just
like,
standing there.
and it's that.
Or seen someone go from a Scorch to a real character. Like, I don't know.
Not to mention the fact that that's a free add-on to a gigantic, huge single-player game for the same price. So,
Interesting stuff. Very,
Dude, it's interesting. It is sad for the players.
so sad.
It is
It's sad
sad
for
for these
everybody involved,
developers.
man.
It's sad.
I wanted to see this game do well. I wanted to see it be good.
Yeah.
I love that they took a AAA risk. It's so rare.
Right.
But they didn't make a good game.
Yeah, and now they have, and that's my thing. How do they fix this? They have to make it right, and they have to stop everything else, even though that means it will cost you everything. But again, you can't come out now at E3 and be like, still working on Fallout, don't worry. But, and no, nobody's going to care what the but. No one's going to care what the but is. You know what I mean?
No, I think if you drop it, you don't start with still working on Fallout. You just don't mention it at
and then
all.
And that would be all anybody talks about.
You come out beforehand, several months beforehand, and say, yeah, okay, this is...
See, going off something you just said, and earlier I brought up a point of, will people care? Like, will enough people care? It's like you're saying you can't say but, and then here's this thing. But can't you? Like, can't they be like, and Skyrim, and then the Skyrim people are going to care?
Well, yeah, but it's just going to be that every sentence about that is going to be loaded with... they showed Skyrim, but it's still crazy they haven't fixed Fallout. Yeah, I'm excited about Skyrim, but I have to wait and see because I saw what happened with Fallout. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many caveats that you have to make that right before you can build on it.
I just feel like we're so inside on this where it's just like, you're right within the circle of people that we roll with. But in terms of like the people that Skyrim fans, I'm sure that it's a small sliver that give a fuck. About Fallout 76. You know what I'm saying?
That's important. Yeah, the Bethesda core community and the people, because I love Fallout. I didn't buy Fallout 76. I canceled my pre-order because I was like, this is a game I'll probably play eventually, but I don't have time this fall.
Yeah.
And I realized that, and then now I probably won't ever buy it. And I think within the target demographic for a game like this. So that's the other bit is but you talked about the people that buy the shoes, the people that buy, those are the people you don't want to alienate. That's your core. That's a really important group of people to your business. I do think that there's a tendency in messaging to assume we can have more control than we do. That's a very important aspect of video game marketing that I think gets forgotten. Historically, Bethesda is extremely smart about the way that they market their video games. They're incredible. Heck, Fallout 76 was marketed beautifully up to this point. I just hope they don't fall into the trap of confusing controlling the message with delivering a sincere message. The message is now out of their control in many ways. The message has taken on a life of its own. What they can do is walk in and begin the process of what the next narrative will be.
Yeah.
Or they can make things a lot worse if they're not careful. So,
well, I mean, that's why I think it's got to be hit on Twitch, whatever it is, talking to each other, no paper cards in front of you, just having this conversation, like whatever. That's how you've got to hit.
So you're saying Pete Hines comes in, sits down with Greg Miller right here, talks about the
sure,
thing.
yeah,
Sounds
yeah,
like a
of
good plan.
course, yeah. But I mean, like, I'd love to. I want a developer too. Like, not that I don't. I mean, Pete's obviously the mouthpiece, but like, where are we? What's happening? What's the roadmap? Where
You
you
can
going?
bring Todd too.
Oh, thank you. Okay, good. Well, man, you want to book these tickets? Go for it. I'd love to talk
I'm
to
in for
everybody
that.
about this.
You
Yeah.
can bring Pete and Todd in here?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, you figure it's just so crazy. You know what I mean? And then it is that since it's so off track now, again, with like, what that game actually is and then everything on top of it, the way the subreddit and fan base have now doubled back to the fact that like they paid Ninja to play it. They did that crazy influencer event in West Virginia. Like, it's back to why the fuck are they spending money on that when they should have been spending, you know what I mean?
That's departmental joy right there.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Marketing,
And that's the
marketing
thing.
budgets versus dev budgets.
Totally not. It's not apples to apples. But again, now that we're here, every choice you've made to this point is nickel and diamond.
No,
everything you've said is overanalyzed.
The good news is that if you want to play a good Fallout game right now, you can go to your Nintendo Switch and play Wasteland Definitive Edition. And you should, because it's great. Best Fallout game, Wasteland 2. is on Switch right now, and it's one of the best Fallout games ever.
And Obsidian's been doubling down on, hey, they have the creators of Fallout, 2 of the creators of Fallout making a game that is debuting at the Game Awards.
So good there. But yeah, there's a good Fallout game with everything but the Fallout name on it.
Yeah.
Right now on Switch that you can play. Have you ever played Wasteland?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Teenage Wasteland.
Thank you very much for that. Jared, we are actually going to hold Mobile Gamer Bullshit until next week yet again.
I feel like
Save it for that.
I feel like it's being bumped again. I think
we've been having
the
good
tide is over.
Good flows, you know what I mean?
Tide is over.
I want to respect people's time.
I understand.
You know what I'm talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the post show. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Let's see, when does this go live? It goes live Friday and then Monday.
This goes live. This is the last one you'd see live on Monday before.
Enjoy so many beautiful things. We had the Game Awards this week.
Thursday.
We got Super Smash Brothers this week. We got the Kind of Funny Games Showcase Saturday at 10 a.m. on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames.
Yep. Followed by the after party, Smash
Followed
Brothers.
by this Smash party.
Smash.
Oh, Smash Party?
Smash party.
I was saying it like that.
I'll see you guys in post show. Love you guys.
Post show.
Hope you guys enjoyed that episode. If you did, click here to subscribe to Kind of Funny Games. Click there to subscribe to Kind of Funny. Click here to support us on Patreon. Click over there for whatever Cool Greg wants to put there. But Cool Greg, please stop putting Iggy Azalea videos there.
He just loves him so much. Everybody tweet at Cool Greg about his love of Iggy Azalea.